Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin J Johnston. This is Amazing Dating Advice, episode number 2. And the amazing and gorgeous co-host of mine, Melanie Switzer, will be joining us shortly. I want to thank you all for being here. And yes, there is an echo because I have been relegated to the basement today. I'm not even in the town that I normally live in. I'm in a basement. But nonetheless, we've got camera, we've got microphone, we have internet. We're going to be just fine tonight. Melanie will be joining us shortly. She has a number of things to achieve. And do you believe, let's put the slide back up here. You believe this hot babe that I get to share this show with is a grandmother? Whoa. And she gets to play with her grandkids tonight. And that's why she's late. That's it. We just tell the truth on this show. There's no bones about it. I'm not going to blame traffic or the dog. That is all that is going on. Well, I wanted to dive right into this tonight. There's a lot to talk about tonight because after the last show, unfortunately, a lot of ladies out there got offended by what I said and they kind of let me have it a little bit. Gals, women, ladies, this is not a show about cutting up women. I am not insulting women on this show. How many times have you all heard me that most men in Canada and the United States are beta cuck kids? They're children. They don't know what they're doing. They're lost. They're playing video games. They're 37 years old, living at home with mommy and daddy. I mean, I'm insulting men more than I'm insulting women here. It's just that my honesty sometimes stings. And nothing that I'm saying is a personal attack on any of you. Now, if you'd like to call in, simply email below. I'll just throw the email address up on the screen for you. And there it is. So in the bottom corner, right over here, there's the email address. You can email your questions in. If you'd like to actually come on the show to call in, I can send you a link in which you can then click that link and pop into the show here. So I'm just opening up the Gmail box, and I know there's going to be a whole lot of questions and a whole lot of statements that you folks are going to make. And I love saying you people because for some reason saying you people, even if I say you fine people, somehow that's racist. We have no idea why. I don't get the left. I don't understand the thought processes of these individuals, and we don't really care at all. I'm checking the Rumble room tonight. I'm checking DLive. We're checking Twitch, all the Facebook accounts, and wherever else that we are being rebroadcasted. So I want to say thank you to everybody who contacted me that wanted to rebroadcast this show on their social media platforms. Yeah, I know, Rick. I missed the beautiful fake bookshelf myself. But we'll have that back next week. All right. I promise to be back in the regular studio next week. All right. So, ladies out there, there is, how do we say this the right way? Because I know you're going to take offense to it no matter what I say. There is this phenomenon, and it's getting a whole lot worse in North America, Canada, and the United States, about whining and complaining. Unfortunately, a lot of you gals out there, you believe that that is the way that men communicate. Now, women know what women are thinking. It's just how it is. One woman walks into a bar crying, and other women in the bar will walk over to her, probably know exactly what's bugging her, just based on the tilt of the eyes and the thickness of the tears and so on. And they'll all have a hug fest and they'll cry together for a bit. And then they all walk away happy. It's a bizarre thing. Now, men, we don't get it. We're looking at 3 women crying together in a bar, and we're going, "Oh my Lord, you gotta walk away." You know, WTF? Turn your back, watch the game on the screen, or talk about something funny. Now, when men are upset about something, it's a matter of most guys will retreat into whatever it is they love to do. If the guy likes to build cars in his garage, that's what he's doing. The man loves video games. That's what he's doing. Man loves a game of pool. He's going to do that alone in the pool hall. So we can't relate to each other in that particular form of communication. But when men have problems with each other, they simply say, hey, asshole, you screwed up. You did something wrong. You got on my nerves. And that can usually be resolved within that 2 to 3 minute time frame. Can't talk like that to women. And unfortunately, ladies, you can't walk into a room crying and throwing out accusations and expect the male brain to comprehend it. The male brain is going to actually interpret that as a personal attack on him. And unfortunately, I've been trolling now. I've been going through all these dating advice websites out there, and I've been listening to a lot of these dating coaches. Almost all of them are exclusively women, and they come forward and they give the most ridiculous, god awful advice, such as they're trying to explain to women who want to be in a serious, full blown, caring, loving relationship. First, you get these chicks in their 30s who are divorced once, twice, three times. They're single moms, and obviously they don't know how to keep a relationship together. Why are they giving advice? The worst advice that they all seem to give is be empowered. But that's not definable. It's a foolish thing to say. It's entirely non-definable. One of them I was listening to had the audacity to come out and say, don't do what you need to do as a woman. Do what you want to do as a woman. Let's break that down. What do we need to do? All of us. Well, we got to eat. We got to pay rent. We got to pay the utilities. We have to earn our keep, earn a living in order to pay for these things. So we need to do those things. Could you imagine what your life would be like if you just took that particular individual's advice and chose to do what you wanted? Which, let's say, if it's a guy, I don't know, mountain biking, driving a car really fast, I don't know, drinking in the bar, whatever it might be, but never goes to work and never pays his bills, just does what he wants, not what he needs to do. What do you figure? 2 weeks before the money runs out, and at the end of the month, he's out of his apartment. 6 weeks later, he's homeless. Think about that. What a lot of these feminazis are referring to, ladies, is that they're telling you, be empowered, do what you want, don't have a husband, don't have children, because society expects you to do so, and it's what you need to do to keep your lineage going. Don't do that. That's the dating advice. That's the relationship advice that female dating coaches are giving to you. Now, does that make sense? Please, by all means, throw it in the chat. Anybody has any commentary on that? You got some comments to make. I'm sure that a lot of you do. What is that going to lead to? You'll be broke and you'll be alone. When you listen to feminists, you have to understand where they're coming from. They tend to hate men. Why? Because they've struck out with men time and time and time again. Why have they struck out with men? Bad attitude, bad personal hygiene, bad life philosophies, bad behavior, bad habits, bad breath. There's all kinds of reasons why men don't want to be around these radical feminists. Attitude, rotten attitude. That's a really big one, everybody. If a woman's got a horrible attitude, she's dating nobody of value or quality for any long period of time. She'll go through a ton of boyfriends who will catch on to how miserable she is and split as quickly as they can if they have any self-respect. So she'll end up having relationships only with the beta cuck males who have no self-respect. And what happens is they have never been in a relationship of quality and value because they themselves are of no quality and value. And then what they do is they take their anger and their rage and their loneliness and they give advice on YouTube to other women. The worst advice possible. If you are listening to a woman who cannot keep a relationship intact and you're going to take any advice that that woman has, ladies, you're going to fail. The other problem with these dating coaches is they're telling you what men want, but it's from their perspective. All right. Women come out and they say crazy things like, I'm a very hyper confident woman and men love hyper confident women. True if they're me or guys like me. Not true if they are the average or below average. Don't overthink men. Don't. You want to get a man's attention? Have a decent face, do your hair up nice, have a great set of tits, have a thin waist, and have yourself a great ass. There you go. That's how you get a man's attention. Just be in the room. All right. I think Melanie's contacting me here. Hold on. So yeah, be in the room. Hold on. It's Melanie trying to get in. Hold on, folks. There we go. She's coming in. So that's it. Women has to look good. Next, that's stage one. That's getting his attention. Next, you want to keep him around. So you're going to want to make sure that your attitude is one that he wants to be around. You know, you want to be pleasant. That's nice. Like having a pleasant woman is great. A hyper confident woman is great if she's pleasant. A hyper confident woman is great if she knows how to cater to a man's ego. A hyper confident woman is great if she can put her ego aside and cater to her man enough to keep him interested. And this is a weekly thing. This is not a matter if you put your ego aside for 2 days, treat him great for 2 days, and then go back to being someone who's cranky and miserable. So the advice that you're getting, girls, ladies, it's horrible. Keeping a man around is far easier than you think. And I would like to encourage you to stop listening to female dating coaches. You know who should be listening to women dating coaches is men. Men should be listening to women talk about how to break the female code. All right. That's what it should be. If I want advice on how to understand some woman's emotional outburst, if I go to another guy, you know what he's going to say? Dump the bitch, right? That's not helpful. But I could go to a woman who's a friend of mine and I can get the female perspective from her and perhaps some advice on how to break through that particular issue. So I'm going to just have to send the link to our dear friend Melanie one more time here. I don't think she has it. Sorry, folks. We're going to get her in here in just a second. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to email us below. Make your comments in the comment box. We're going to address any and all questions that that come in. All right. All right. She has the link to come to the show. And anybody who has any questions to ask, do indeed let me know. Hit the address here at the bottom of the page, and I'll send you the link to come on screen and to ask your question or to make your statement. All right. So, gals, you want advice on how to talk to men? You talk to a man. And that is what this show is all about. We need to understand the differences between men and women. Men will never in this lifetime, ever, in the next 75,000 years of evolution, will never think like women. It is not going to happen. You might get some exceptionally effeminate males out there who have estrogen in their body and they can think a little bit like you. Sure. And a lot of you women out there have gay male friends because they don't understand you the way you think they do. They're just flamboyant and a little more feminine in their behavior than their masculine straight counterparts or even their masculine gay counterparts. So you'll misinterpret his flamboyancy, such as, "Oh, sister, you look fabulous tonight. Ooh." You'll interpret that as understanding the female psyche. No, he's just being himself and having some fun. And you relate to it because other women might speak like that once in a while. So you still should not be going to gay men for advice. Sorry, you should not go to gay men for advice. What I meant to say in reference to talking about how to deal with men, how to break through that code. 1 second there, folks. If you just give me a second here, I've got to, sweetheart, check your new link. Just emailed it now. She's trying her very best to get into the show, everybody. So we don't want to have any of the feminists out there giving you gals advice. Now, men, this is something that you need to understand. There are some really angry dudes out there. You know, the ones that mistreat women deliberately. You know, the type of a guy who will hire a prostitute and then scream and yell at her and hit her and throw things at her. That is a complete piece of dirt. And guys like that tend to be equally as ready to give advice about women as the hyper feminist women are willing to give advice about men. And I highly recommend that if you ever do come across a guy who yells at women in general, especially his own woman, then you need to make sure you're not taking any advice from that guy, because I can assure you the only thing he's going to talk about is you got to treat them like crap, man. You got to raise your voice. You got to throw things at them. You got to make them get down on the ground and clean the carpet. You got to do all that stuff, man. No, that's wrong. You don't gotta be a complete and total ass to have a woman in your life. In fact, the exact opposite's going to happen. The only one that you're going to keep around if you behave like these idiots do are the ones who have such low self-esteem that they will sleep with any man out there, not because they are sluts, but because they just don't know any other way to gain a little bit of appreciation in the world. That's what you're going to attract. And that is not the kind of gal you want to attract if you're interested in having a stable family life. Absolute true story. Sorry, Melanie seems to be having a real difficult time here, folks. I'm going to have to give her a call right now. No, you can't see her phone number. All right. Naughty, naughty. Don't ask. All right. We do want to thank you. Oh, thank you to everybody on Twitter because we're broadcasting live on Twitter tonight. I want to thank you all on Twitter who are sharing this out tonight and forwarding it to everybody. And I'm going to be calling Melanie. I'm calling her right now. And I'm in a basement and I have one bar. I don't think the call is going to get through. I really don't. Oh, boy. No, there's no way the call is going to get out the door. So I'm going to have to text her one more time. The link is in your email address. See, I can't even send a text out right now. All right. Whew. Hopefully she gets that one all solved and resolved. Bottom line, don't go to asshole men for advice, guys, and don't go to feminists and single mothers purporting to be dating coaches for advice. You're going to get bad advice. All of it is going to be absolutely horrendous. Every attempt that you make to have a relationship work, if you're taking that kind of advice, is going to fail miserably. You will be alone for a very long time if you take any of that advice, period. So, Melanie, I need her in here because we got to talk about the next thing is actually a lot more important here. Ladies, we're going to be talking a little bit here about communicating with men and how pushing a man too far can be extremely, extremely detrimental to your relationship. And of course, the quality of your own life. We have to have the female perspective on this one, though. So let me just do my absolute very best to get her in here. Yeah, see, folks, I hate to do this. I'm just going to step away from the camera. I never do this, but this basement is not allowing me to send anything out the door. God, I hate technology sometimes. Okay. Sent the link again. Now we know that we're online. That we do know. I'm so sorry, everybody. I really am so sorry. Melanie did get she had her grandkids with her tonight. Everything went late for her, and she wasn't able to test the link earlier in the day. And usually what we do, folks, is we do our sound checks about half an hour before showtime. But, you know, listen, when you're a responsible woman like Melanie is, and your family says they need some help, then that is what you do. So I've always got a backup plan here. I have no bars on my phone, but I've got amazing Wi-Fi. I'm going to utilize a product called Text Now, which allows me to make phone calls using just Wi-Fi. I'm calling her right this second to ensure that she gets it. Boom. All right. Could somebody please contact Melanie? If anyone has her number, let her know that I have been using her email address, which is switzersings@gmail.com. Anyone at all, let her know it's in that email box. And it's in there again. So I've just sent it about 8 or 9 times. I think what we'll have to do is give her a phone call on Skype. So let's see if we can get Skype to work here. We're going to get her on this show, whether it's Skype or on video. We are getting her on this show tonight. It's just happening, everybody. It's just happening. All righty. And again, no, you're not going to see the phone number, but I will give her a call. All right. It's frustrating to do things with your left hand. I'm not left-handed. We're calling her now. Okay. Ring. We're getting Melanie on this show. Hey. You there?
Hi.
Okay.
I don't have
What?
I didn't get your email.
I've sent it like 6 times in the last 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Okay, then I'm going to send it from a different address. Perhaps you've got one of my email addresses either blocked or something.
Weird.
Okay, we got to get you in because I'm going to tell a story in a second here, Melanie,
Okay.
and it needs female scrutiny. And a woman must scrutinize what I'm about to say here. So let me try it. Hold on. Don't you go anywhere.
No. I refreshed my phone. I thought, is that what's going on?
Okay, so it's the one I always had, right? Switzer Sings?
Switzer@gmail.com, yeah.
Okay, I'm typing with one hand here. There we go. And the word link is in the subject line. That's on its way.
Okay. Come on.
Yes, so I'm sending it one more time from my regular email address, and I guess in total now that's 9. That's 9 times. So one of these has to work.
So weird. Oh, it says on my storage is full.
That would do it.
Oh my goodness.
That would do it. The second that your email box is full, my Lord. So everybody, there you go. We've learned a lesson tonight here. You all need to make sure that your email box is always empty. You got to make sure that it's at least 75% empty. That's something I do. I'm purging all the time. So anybody who wants to insult our good friend Melanie, feel free. Right. Yeah. Scold Melanie for not clearing out her email box.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Oh my goodness.
I
am not techie.
Do you have a different email address I could use?
You could. Hang on a second. I have a Proton email. Hang on. What is it? I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. It is. Actually, you know what? It might have sent to this one because I didn't think to check this one. Sometimes my Gmails will go directly to this one.
Okay. Well, we want you on the show, so we're being patient here because we want you in the show. Why is everything so slow tonight? And for those who are wondering why I've got such a big glass here, I've worked out every day this week, and this is cranberry juice. I was instructed by my personal trainer to drink lots of cranberry juice. Right. My God. And cranberry juice, I guess for those who care, is really good for people who suffer from gout. It'll keep the gout low. The uric acid will be low. Okay, what do you got, Mel?
I'm going to send you an email from this one.
freedomreport.ca. Try that one. That's the public one. freedomreport.ca@gmail.com. Melanie Switzer's on the phone, everyone. We're trying to get the link emailed to her. But the naughty girl did not clean out her Gmail box. Her Gmail box was full. Wow.
No idea.
You're not living this one down ever.
Right. No, I can tell. All right. Let's see if you get this. I just sent a hi from
and anybody who's got questions questions can go right here, freedomreport.ca@gmail.com. You can also throw any questions that you like in the chat room tonight. I'm watching the chats in Rumble, DLive, Facebook, and Twitch, plus the other private servers that we're on. And there's a lot of other people who've been sharing on their Facebook page. Please share this now. Melanie will be coming in the show in a moment. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you send me something?
I sent you a hi. Did you get it?
Okay, something's going on with you because I don't have an email from you.
I am. What is going on?
Okay, can you come in? Can you come in on your phone?
Can I do what?
Can you come on the show on your phone? Because I can text you the link. I have to manually type it in, but I can do that now. All right. All right, folks. So she may or she may not get this message because I am in a basement. And as I said, I'm not able to make phone calls properly. I had to go through Skype to make this call. All right. So if you got a good headset for your phone there, Mel, the link is coming through in a second here. It's got it's a long string. So I'm typing with my little stylus here because I hate typing on a phone. Man, my fingers are way too fat for cell phone typing.
Yeah, guy fingers and phone typing. Yeah, not compatible. I would agree.
Okay, boom. There you go. All right, guys.
Okay. Oh, looks like this might be.
And the other thing I could do. Oh, good. She's almost in, folks. Melanie's almost in. We almost got this, right? And there she is. Kaboom. Welcome to the show. Can you hear me? I do not hear you. Wait. Yeah. Okay.
How about now?
I can hear you now, but your volume's a bit low. You're going to have to shout.
Okay. I can do that.
All right. I know you can.
All right.
That I know. All right. Melanie Switzer, everybody. Alberta's best looking country singer and actually best country singer. All right. You got to hear what this gal has to say when she sings. Her songs are absolutely wonderful. All right. So this is a story that I'm telling because a lot of men emailed me after our first episode. And a lot of these guys were asking me how to deal with constant badgering on a set thing. Now there's I guess we could call it fried wiring in women's heads. Again, I'm keeping the language light, where an idea gets into a woman's head and she'll just pound on you. And I mean pound on you until you break, until you lose your temper, until you throw things across the room, until you don't want to see her ever again. Now, here's the story that I tell to help these gentlemen out to understand that I understand them. So we got to go back to 1994, World Cup of Soccer. Now, it was probably the best World Cup ever up to that point. And as men, you can't interfere with that. More men watch World Cup of Soccer than anything else on the planet. Italy was playing Spain. Why did I want to watch this game so much? Because I can't stand it when Italy wins soccer games. There's something about, we'll call it Italian DNA, that the second that an Italian steps onto a soccer field, their IQ drops by 75 points and their violence factor triples. Don't know why, right? They take it more seriously than the Portuguese do. So I'm always wanted to see Italy lose. Just saying. I mean, I love my Italian friends, but I just can't be around you when it comes to soccer. Well, this game was going to be me rubbing a Spanish victory into my Italian buddies' faces. And I had my Spanish flag wrapped around me. I had a red shirt on. I was all set to poke and prod. We had pizza. The guys had their keg of beer, parties ready to go. Now, the mistake that I made is I brought my girlfriend at the time with me. Now, she had been hounding me for a couple of days about helping her friend at this very same house, who was married to my friend, to tear apart the deck in the backyard. I mean, okay, I'll get together with him. And his name literally was Giuseppe. I will get together with Gio, we called him, and we'll tear the deck down. And we'll do it when World Cup is over, because I'm not missing this World Cup. She hounded me. So when are we going to take down her deck? When are you're going to take the deck down, right? Yeah. She was hounding me even as we were driving to their house for this game. The game is about to start, and she spent half an hour hounding me. But, you know, you have to take this deck down. There's power tools outside. So I think what had happened here is Giuseppe's wife had put these things out there expecting someone to cut the deck down. Why was I the man singled out as the guy that had to cut this deck into pieces and get it into the bin that was on the front driveway? So the game starts. Needle. She whined all the way through, and I started yelling at her, F off. Get lost. Leave me the F alone. And the guys are all looking like, what's that bitch's problem? And finally, I'd say maybe 20 minutes into the game, she came right back in, but the deck has got to be taken down. And she's now crying. Now, I don't lose my cool very often, but I lost my cool. My fist went down the table, and I stood up, and I said, all right, here's what's going to happen. A, you're going to walk out of this room and not talk to me again until this game is over. B, I'm going to stop watching this game, go outside, and start cutting his deck apart to shut you up. But if I do go outside and do this deck, our relationship is officially over. If it's that important to you, you pick, but weigh carefully your choice. And I just sat back and I waited for her decision, and she picked the deck. I said, gentlemen, I'm going to be outside and getting dirty. All right. Sorry, I can't watch the game. And they're all saying, no, man, sit down, throw her out. I said, no, I'm going to get this done. And I went outside and I worked on carving the deck up, which Giuseppe and I had decided that we would do when the World Cup was over, which is only going to be another 2 weeks. Actually, less than that, probably a week and a half. So I did my part. I cut up what I could. I started moving everything out, came back in, thanked the judge very much for the pizza that I did eat, got in the car, left her there. And that was the end of the relationship. I broke up with her, never talked to her again. Why was it so important that I had to take down someone else's deck, a friend of mine's deck that we already agreed we were going to be doing 10 days later? I later did find out it was because her friend put pressure on her to put pressure on me to get the job done free of charge. So the deck that she didn't own, she was not on title on the property. There was nothing to gain for her at all to pressure me, and she ended up losing me. I was done. I never spoke to her again. I made a promise and I kept it. So, Melanie, now that you've heard this story, and now that the gentlemen out there have heard this story, we got to get your take on this. Why is it that women get these ideas in their head and they'll pressure and pressure and pressure until their man snaps and actually falls out of love with them? Please go.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't even know if I have the answer to this. But you're right. It does happen. So I think, I feel like maybe sometimes it could be a love language thing, because some women, say, for instance, if acts of service is their love language, then of course they're going to get hung up on having you do something that seems like it's got that servitude sort of energy to it, right? So I wonder if that's maybe some of it, because I know I've had little hang-ups, but yeah, some women get extreme on them, because I have friends that I've thought, what gives? Like, give it a rest for a while. I've thought that with other women. So I don't know, but I'm wondering if it might be a love language thing.
I don't even know what love language thing means. You are talking to a man here, and that's why we're doing this show with a man and a woman on the show. So talk to me like I'm 5. Let's hear it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if other people have not heard of these love languages, there's 5 love languages. See if I can remember them all. One is
I've never heard of
words
this
of
thing, and you tell me
affirmation.
there's 5 of them?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Well, and there's actually something to it. It's a book. There's a book out, and I think everyone should read it. I think for two reasons. I think we should read it so that we know what our love language is and how we most feel loved. And we should read it so that we can figure out what our partner's love language is, because it's probably different than yours, and that'll help them feel loved. And I feel like once you kind of understand that, then there's not these pulls and these conflicts quite as badly as maybe there would be. So one of them is words of affirmation. One of them is gifts. One is acts of service. One is quality time, and one is physical touch. Oh, I remember them all. So some men
Okay.
may feel more loved by physical touch, and I guess I promoted the book without meaning to, but yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. So in this love language here, how does a man deal with a woman that he loves, putting pressure on him to do something that he doesn't want to do, that she is unable to articulate as to why it needs to be done? She can't prove to him there's any reason for it to be done. And I'm not the only one that suffers this. So this is not me ranting about my ex-girlfriends. This is a very, very common thing. How does a man deal with that a woman's going to understand?
It is a really common thing, because I've seen so many people struggle with it, and I had my own struggles with it. I think that if it is a love language thing, you kind of, I guess you sort of automatically understand, okay, it's the act of service. This is the commitment. Maybe you can talk to her and say, will it make you feel more important if I do this right now? And if she says yes, say, okay, now that I know where you're coming from, I do want to do this for you, but may I ask, if it's all right if I just watch the game first, and I will get to it because I know it's important to you. I don't know, maybe just more communication. Some women are really hard to communicate with. I'm one of them. I'll admit it.
Oh, well, you see, because I've never dated you, I don't know the complex part about communicating with you. So best part about knowing you and putting you in the friend zone is that I never have to find out, right? Nor deal with it. So it is very difficult. As men, we struggle with this a lot because these ideas will come up. And I did notice it not just with relationships, but I remember with teachers of mine that were women. They would get ideas in their head and make demands of the boys that they were teaching to do things. And as boys, our logical brains kick in thinking, no, why? And it's because I said so. I mean, that's the only answer that you get, because I'm the authority figure. You must do so. I ask women all the time, why are you asking me to do this foolish thing? It's going to piss me off. Why do you want to piss me off? I try to be calm, and I don't ever get a straight answer. Now, am I doing something wrong as a man? Let me hear it.
Well, I don't think you're doing something necessarily wrong, but I do think that sometimes women, and I hope I don't offend any of them.
That's okay. Blame me. It's fine.
I think women have certain expectations that they need to get in check once in a while. Like, are our expectations realistic? Are they reasonable? Because sometimes we might be a little more demanding than what is necessary. So I hope that doesn't tick the girls off, but I mean, it's a two-way
in some cases, Melanie, in some cases, I hope it does tick the girls off, because, putting pressure on to do something, menial or something that doesn't benefit the relationship. It's horrendous. As men, it's a horrendous thing to put up with. And if there is such a thing as a love meter, let's say the glass is half or fully full. Each and every time a stupid task like this is fought for, it does empty. It drains. Eventually, it's going to get down to, I hate my wife. I hate my girlfriend. I hate whoever it is. I can't stand her. And I've had two really dear friends of mine. They would phone me on their way home from work and then park 5 or 6 houses down from their house and continue chatting with me, guy talk, so that they could avoid going in the house to see their wives for an extra 10 minutes. And that the constant badgering, the complaining, the crying, the whining, the demand to get foolish things done drops the love meter. Is there any way that we can get women to understand? Am I not articulating that correctly enough for the average lady to understand that? Let me hear what you got to say.
Well, I think you're articulating it clearly from a man's perspective. However, I also think that men need to keep in mind that women have needs and wants, and we all need to kind of clearly establish which is which. And sometimes men can be pretty insensitive because they get annoyed and their walls go up right away. Whereas if they were maybe took a step back and could look at it with a little more sensitivity, maybe there would be a more a smoother way to navigate through that. I don't know.
It's not easy to change one's mindset, though, from being, let's say, infinitely logical to accepting the fact that somebody is speaking to us non-logically. In
your opinion.
Well, yes, but I have no advice for any man out there when it comes to changing your mindset to become more sensitive to a woman who's driving you nuts, aside from fake it. Fake it, guys. Yeah, you don't care one bit about what she's saying. You couldn't, there's no way you could muster up enough energy to even consider caring. But if you want to get laid, you got to pretend to care. That's the only advice I've got. And I wish I had better advice than pretend to care about something that she's nagging you on. Is there any advice you can give women out there on how to not nag, to speak to men in a fashion in which they actually will understand? Because as men, we don't want to be angry with our women. We don't. We really don't. Like, men in general just don't want to be angry with their women. We'd like to be able to communicate better, but how do we get ladies communicating with us so we understand?
Well, that's the challenge. That is the universal challenge right there. I think as women, we need to choose our battles wisely. If it's something that's really extremely urgent or time sensitive, or really does mean something to us because it's something that we really desperately would feel more relaxed if it gets done, then we just need to communicate that more clearly and focus on those things and not all the other little things. Because if it's something that isn't important, I guess we both have to weigh that out, right? Men have to think, okay, she wants me to do this. What's the reason? Do you love her? Do you want to make her happy? And women need to be more aware of, if I nag him about this, probably going to piss him off. So is it worth it? Probably not. So I think we both need to be a little more sensitive and a little more aware.
Okay, so the advice I have, guys, fake it. You don't care. You're not going to. And you know what, guys? It doesn't make you bad men to not give a crap about someone's emotional reaction to something that you know you could fix logically if it was explained to you logically. So pretend to give a crap. Pretend. And act. It's not lying. It's acting. Yeah, it's acting. It's not lying. It's acting.
To some degree, you should actually give a crap, because if you pretend all the time, that's sort of insincere. And I think they'll come out eventually. So,
well, you're right. And I am no different than, we'll say, the average man or the above average man, in that any woman that I'm involved with, I want her happy. I really want her happy. But we're all going to hit roadblocks. We're just going to slam up against the wall sometimes when we do have to pretend to care about an issue that we simply do not understand. Now, the aggravation that you talked about, the wall going up that you talked about there, is because we don't get it. And it's now been repeated 2, 3, 9, 15 times, and we still don't get it. And she's continuing to say something that we don't understand. We cannot elevate its importance because we don't understand. The only reason at that point that it becomes important to do this task is to shut her up. And I really don't like being in the position ever to do something to shut somebody up, because now I have that little bit of the hate factor kicks in. I hate this person for a couple of hours. The hate will go away. The agitation will go away, but it doesn't make the relationship stronger. That's my take on it. And I'm telling you that from the male perspective, and I'm wondering how many men in the room are agreeing. And again, guys, it doesn't make you bad that you don't get it. And women, it doesn't make you bad that you're unable to articulate because of the way you're wired. However, ladies, because you're never going to get a man to think like a woman, it might be an idea. And Melanie, maybe you agree, maybe you don't. It might be an idea to take more advice from men on how to talk to men than those feminist whack jobs we talked about earlier in the show. Melanie, your thoughts? You're up.
Yeah, that is definitely something I think that is worth exploring. Get some advice from a man, how he'd like to be communicated with, and what would absolutely drive them the most crazy, and learn from that. So yeah, you don't want to drive your man crazy. You're going to push him away. So just, yeah.
Yeah. When you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. Insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You got to change up what you do. The immature side, the teenage side of me would come out and say, ladies, if you want your man to do a task and he objects and you're making him angry, maybe the strategy is, hey, I'll do that thing with my finger that you like so much, you know, I'll let you watch porn while I do that thing you like. And you got to make a deal. And there's nothing wrong with making a deal. It doesn't have to be sex. It can be a deal for his favorite cake. If you know how to bake his favorite cake, trade him a cake for that stupid job you want done. Make a deal. You'd be amazed at how the male brain works in deal making. Men like making deals.
Oh, I know. Yeah, sex or a sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Sex or a sandwich.
Sex and cake. All right. Women can talk me into stupid things with sex and cake. I do like cake. And that's a fact. And I'm not actually even trying to be funny with that statement. It's true. I will bake you like Slovak kolač with walnut paste. This is my favorite thing in the world. Melanie, you could talk me into cleaning out your entire basement for kolač. Fact.
All right. Noted. All right.
All right. The statement I want to make here, and I would like you to articulate what I'm about to say so that the women get it too. And that is, when men and women have these disagreements, there is a certain pain that comes along with it. For men, it's anger, and we want space for maybe a day or two. For women, they take it personally. They believe their man loves them less, and they withdraw into themselves, and the relationship suffers as a result. I suppose, guys and girls, what's more important to you, the pain or the person? And I would always say, yeah, you know, the pain is there, but you got to let that crap go, because the person's more important than the temporary pain from the argument. Melanie, I'd like you maybe to re-articulate what I've said so the girls get it, because I don't know if the girls, I really don't know if women get what I say, my life philosophies. I'm at a loss to get if they get it, and only because I'm a man. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I was actually kind of impressed with that. What's more important, the pain or the person? And I think that is one of the underlying most deeply seated wants of a woman, is to feel special and feel like she's important and adored and loved. And so that if a man thinks like that, and women too, I'm sure I know men want to be respected more than anything else.
That's true.
So we do need to keep that in mind, and we need to say, okay, what's more important here? Honoring that person, or giving energy and attention to those painful feelings that are just going to build walls.
Now, how do we get women to dump that pain?
Oh boy. See, yeah, that's hard, because as a woman, we almost need some nurturing and some affection to help us heal from that pain. Women are weird creatures. I mean, we're not that weird. It's really quite simple, but men get a little stubborn, and they get kind of annoyed, and they put up walls quickly. But they take them down quickly, where I think women put up walls quickly, but it takes them a little longer to bring those walls down. So
a little longer? Are you sure it's a little longer?
Well, yeah, sometimes it's a lot longer. Sometimes they never come down, some of them. Yeah. I guess we just need to keep that principle. And it was really brilliant, Kevin. Like, Yeah, what's more important here? The person or the feelings and the pain? Let's make the person more important and figure out how we can do that and communicate that.
Fantastic. All right. Now, Rick, you're asking if the lovely lady on the screen, Melanie Switzer, is the one that sang the Make Calgary Great Again song when I ran for mayor of Calgary. And yes, that's actually how Melanie and I had met. She sang the song. I didn't know who she was. I loved it. Contacted her, said, can I use the song every day on my show? And the answer was yes. So yes, that's the same Melanie. Thanks for remembering that. All right. We're just going to have a quick peek here at the comments. Okay, Mike Martins is here. Everyone say hello to Mike in the Night. He runs that awesome show on Saturdays. Mike in the Night, everybody. All right. Uh-oh, here we go. I make my girlfriend sleep on the couch during her time of the month. She seems to be frustrated with me. What's her issue? Is that a serious question? Are you for real? Dude, really?
Oh my gosh.
I would advise against it if that is a serious question. I have never once kicked a woman I was with out of bed for that. I've also never kicked a woman out of bed for drinking tea in bed or for eating crackers. I know that joke is a standing thing, but some women I know like to have a dunk in their tea with crackers. No, I can't imagine forcing a lady to sleep on the couch, even when I'm mad at them. I don't say get out of my bedroom and go sleep on the floor. I mean, if anything, I'll go where the PlayStation is and sleep there myself. But I don't know. Melanie, how many times have you kicked a guy out of bed?
Never. Yeah, I don't think either one should be kicked out of bed for any reason. You work it out.
Were you ever kicked out of bed?
No.
But you have left bed when there's an argument and slept on the couch on your own?
I have voluntarily left a time or two, yes.
Okay. So there we go. That's what I would do, dude. If it bothers you that much, be a man about it. Let her have the bed. You sleep on the couch, dick.
Right?
That's a dick move. That's a dick move, man. I'm not on your side on that one. Period. Alrighty. We have a number of gals, and this is becoming a big TikTok phenomena. Like these TikTok dating phenomena, every week they're new, they change, and they seem to get crazier. So women are asking other women where to meet good men. There seems to be this big thing where the feminist tripe has lessened our abilities to communicate with each other. So meeting good men, as these ladies say, seems to be tougher and tougher. They're going to Home Depot now to pick up men, to meet men. I'm going to tell you from the male perspective what's wrong with that. And I'm going to get you, Melanie, to build on this a little bit. All right. First off, men, we're not shoppers. We are buyers. So when we go to the grocery store, men goes exactly to where that item is that he wants, and he splits. All right. It's done. Exception to the rule is Home Depot, because you got everything. You got tools. Yeah, tools, man. Yeah. You've got patio stuff. Yeah, man, that's great patio stuff. You got screws and fasteners. Oh, yeah. You better believe that stuff's important. When I'm looking for, I don't know, washers and screws and nuts and bolts that are going to go together on a project, I'm not paying attention to a single chick in Home Depot. I'm actually under the assumption, Melanie, that every woman in Home Depot is some guy's wife who's helping him find something to fix the kitchen. That's what I'm thinking. So by no means am I walking through Home Depot with my head up going, yeah, look at the set on that one. Hey, baby, what's your name? That's not what I'm doing at Home Depot. I'm focused on the task at hand. I'm going to check out the tool prices. I'll call my buddy saying, dude, you're not going to believe this, man. Skill saws are on right now, half price. That I'm looking to make a friend of mine happy by finding the sale in the store. And then I'm out the door. I'm gone. I'm not coming back. So if you're a woman who's trying to pick up men at Home Depot, first, it's the wrong place to go for the reasons I've just mentioned. But secondly, are you actually giving men the signal that they need to know that you're hot to trot, maybe horny, maybe looking for a guy? Like, what signals are you actually giving to men in Home Depot? So, Melanie, let's get you to build on this. Is it a good idea to go to Home Depot, first off, to pick up men? And secondly, what signals should a woman be giving? Yeah, what's your advice to women on what signals to give to men in Home Depot, of all places? Go ahead.
Well, that is not where I would go to meet a guy. That was never on my radar. It's bold, it's gutsy. So, good luck to you. I mean, if there's some success stories, I would like to hear them. I think that would be extremely interesting. However, if you're going to choose Home Depot as your a place of trolling, I guess the best thing to do would be to make eye contact and smile. That would be a good starting point. I would presume that most men shopping at Home Depot, probably like you said, are there for a purpose and a task, and possibly or quite likely married. They're probably sent there by their wives because they got to fix something. So
yeah.
I just wouldn't choose Home Depot. There's lots of places where single men often go, but I don't know if Home Depot would be one of them. But if there's a success story, please share it with us. That would be fascinating.
Yeah, it would. Now, okay, let's talk about you then for a second. Let's say your loins are cooking. You're on fire. Your nips are going, want men. Where would you go? If your goal was to meet a man, like that's the goal, where would you go?
I think I would go to probably a small, quiet pub, because that's usually where people who are alone go, and they sit at the bar and you can chit chat and whatnot. I have run into some people and had some good conversations, surprisingly enough, at the grocery store.
Okay.
So you never know, but you have to kind of suss it out. You got to make eye contact and smile and turn up the flirt a little bit, and then you'll know. You can sniff out the single ones versus the non-single ones most of the time.
Why don't you tell some of the gals watching the show today what picking up the flirt is? Like what is a flirting tactic that women should be using? Let's hear this.
Well, for sure it's the eyes and the smile, but you can do like the little head tilt and sometimes a little touch, but don't get too touchy, especially if you just met the person. But you can kind of like touch their arm or whatever. There's little things. Most of it's gestures, body language, but definitely eyes and smile. And let your eyes smile too, because you can do that. Practice it.
Show me. Let me see that. Tell me, what do you got? What do you got for us?
You just gotta let your whole face feel.
That's not bad.
Feel the expression, right?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. But here's the question I've got is, why don't women who want to play this game in the bar, the pub, wherever it might be, why don't they just come up and say, hey, I think you're hot. I'd like to get to know you. Can I buy you a drink? As opposed to, hey, stupid, buy me a drink. Hey, that kind of, is there something stopping women from actually using direct language, which men adore? Let me hear this.
Well, not all women. Some women are very bold, almost maybe frighteningly bold. So I think you can nowadays. We're living in an age where whoever is bold enough and brave enough to make the first move should make the first move, or you might miss an opportunity.
Well, I think a lot of people are missing opportunities now. That's why this show exists, is that opportunities are being missed absolutely everywhere. Your facial expression thing, first off, is you're correct. I mean, that is a way to get attention, but I don't think that too many men recognize that anymore.
Right.
And I do. That is very much a problem. And the reason being is that we don't have anyone teaching us these lessons in any way. We just don't. They certainly don't talk about this type of thing in schools. We are never taught how to talk to people in schools. The simple lesson of shaking hands is something that wasn't even taught at the college level. So the college level, as an example, they taught us how to write a resume, but not how to talk to people, not how to carouse. Carousing is a skill where you can walk from table to table, introduce yourself to people, sit and have a 5-minute conversation, and then leave before you become boring. that it's a skill. They don't teach us this stuff. So that is something that women are dealing with. The guys, if you saw what Melanie just did, I'd replay it over and over again because it is kind of sexy. What she did is actually correct. So if a chick is looking at you like that, and I do use the word chick, I don't care if it's offensive, pay attention. Yeah, that's your opportunity. So you guys got to pay attention too. This is not all on the ladies. I'm not putting all this on women. If they're actually going to perform that little act, say something, you idiots. Hey, I'm John. Pleasure to meet you. Guys,
can we ask the men if they would be comfortable with or would prefer if women make the first move? I'm curious.
Guys, answer the question, please. Melanie is asking a serious question. Are you okay with the woman making the first move? Do you like it or do you not? Go ahead. We'll wait a couple of minutes here. We got a bunch of guys in the Rumble room right now. So let's hear this. Honest Fresh is actually saying good stuff to you. He likes the face. Well done on that. I mean, but obviously you're good at it because you're on stage singing. So your job is not only to sing to a group of people, but to make sure the men and the lesbians are paying attention to you and hopefully snapping a $10 bill at you when the song is over, right? Or buying your album or buying you a drink, to tell you how much they appreciate what you've done. Okay. So we're just waiting for some of the answers here. In the email box, Paul says, yes, he absolutely loves it when women make the first move. He wishes they did it more often. All right. I don't know. Pitch. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce this name. I'll just call you Pitch, P-I-T-C-H, is saying that women should be doing it by law. Okay. Well, I don't really want to lobby any government to write that law, but I think I know what he's saying is that it should become a standard practice. Ray says, yes, make the first move. He does say that. I'm checking the Rumble room right now for us. Hold on, folks. We got a couple of yeses here. Hot Fresh says, yes, but not too strong. Oh, we lost Melanie there. What does that mean there, buddy? What does not too strong mean? Because I've had women hit on me, we'll call it strongly, and we'll call it flirtatiously, like Melanie had just done there. So what does that mean? If you're going to say, yes, women should hit on men, but not too strong, could you please just maybe redefine that in the chat? I am paying attention to the chat in all of the rooms. All right. And Mark is saying absolutely, because we're all tired of it. And I'm sorry, Mark, I didn't understand the rest of that. And Victor says, yes, do it.
Okay,
it's great. All right. And he even used proper punctuation in that comment. So thank you, Victor, for that.
All right.
So
Very
it appears that, ladies, you got carte blanche. Go ahead. I want to add to it if I could. There's nothing better than getting a text where your lady, or not even your lady, but someone that you're interested in, is firing off really flirtatious stuff. It's really hot when a woman that you're dealing with or interested in throws a hug at you for no reason whatsoever. It actually, for men, very empowering. And remember the National Enquirer, that stupid paper that it typed up a bunch of lies? Once in a while, they would actually do some real social experiments. So they got good-looking women, put them in business suits, and they sent them downtown Battery Park in Manhattan. And they told the women, run up behind men, grab their asses, and see what happens. And they did this over the course of a week, and not one guy complained. Not one. Because we don't normally get that kind of treatment from ladies. We just don't. And grabbing a guy's ass, if you're a good-looking woman, it's going to wake him up. Whoa, you look, and I guarantee you're going to get a smile out of the deal. Now, I'm not too sure about these beta cuck left-wing LGBTQ idiots. They're a different ball of wax altogether. They might actually say something stupid like, I'm not just a piece of meat, They might. But ladies, you're not going to find out until you try. But the odds, I think really the odds of a woman putting a move on a man with touching his arm or giving him a hug randomly or something, the odds of being accused of sexual harassment by a man are minuscule. Like they're infinitesimally small. So I say go for it. There we go. All righty. So we got some more questions popping up here. Oh, Melanie, you're taking this one first. The wording's tough. I have to paraphrase it here. So I'll say it this way. Why do women get grossed out by sexual suggestions by their man? So I assume that what you're asking is if men go to their woman, wife, girlfriend, lover, whatever, and make suggestions for new sexual experiences, why is it that women go to disgust as opposed to thinking, okay, Melanie, you got this one.
Wow. Okay. I think that depends on how many years you've been married. Because let's be honest, after you've been married a long time, sometimes you're just like, okay, stop. And I don't know why that happens if we get bored, because you think we should be trying to find new ways to make things more exciting. But when you're new, I think that most people would be like, oh, yeah, naughty boy. I think that depends on the woman, and that depends on the energy of the relationship. So, but yeah, I have seen a lot of women get grossed out by certain suggestions. And some suggestions could be a little gross, but for the most part, I think if it's for the purpose of keeping the relationship fresh and adventurous, lighten up.
All right. So, ladies, I think what's being said here is give it a shot. Keep your man happy. I've had the Kama Sutra for quite some time. In fact, I've had multiple copies of it, and I have put tags on the pages where I'm thinking, this looks interesting. This looks impossible. This looks dumb. Let's try it anyway. And typically it was the reaction was to be disgusted by it. One of the questions that was offered to me, and I thought it was really stupid, was, why are you looking at sex books? I should be enough for you. What? What do I say to that? I think that was said to me when I was about 27 years of age. And of course, as a man, not understanding it, I took it as an attack, and I got my back up a little bit and left the room. A bit of a huff, but her reaction was to go to disgust, not about the positions being suggested, but by the fact that I was even looking at the book in the first place. So maybe you can help me out here. Maybe she was insulted that I didn't think she was imaginative enough. Was her ego hurt? In a situation like that, Mel, guide me, because I have no clue.
I think that sounds like she had some insecurities, and younger girls, we all tend to have those. And I think the older you get, the more mature you get, the more you realize that those materials are really just educational. They're there to make us better lovers and more comfortable with the whole concept of that ritual, if you want to call it that. It makes us more confident as well. The more knowledge you have, the more confident you'll be, and that's empowering. So I feel like it was a lack of confidence and a little bit of insecurity on her part, probably because she was still young.
Well, this is also where, hold on, I think the software is not working. Here we go. Yes, this is where I would agree with you that young women, y'all are paying the ass. Like when you're under 30, you're paying the ass. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about here. I've told the story 1,000 times on my show, but I lost my virginity to my girlfriend's mother at my girlfriend's 19th birthday party upstairs in her parents' bedroom, and the father was downstairs cooking. All right. Should I have done it? I don't know. It happened. And I went back for more for quite some time. And it shaped me a little bit in my thought processes, in that women, not girls, women were a lot more open to suggestions, concepts, and ideas. And I found myself between the ages of 18 and even about 25, when I would go on dates with women who were 35 and up, I had a great time. I did. I mean, conversation was better. She had her own car in most cases. The choice of venue was more sophisticated. The evenings themselves would just be more enjoyable. And then I would go on dates with chicks, girls under 30, and I'd be pissed off. I'd be pissed off all night, pissed off at the conversation, pissed off at the restaurant, irritated in the car, and just annoyed. You know, so I was always one for chasing women, not girls. And I'm still that way today. I love wrinkles in women. I don't like seeing 6 pounds of makeup on a girl. Right? From the standpoint of openness, I guess that's the right word. I notice that a lot of suggestions that men make to women are certainly recepted by women who are over 50 in comparison to those who are 25 or 30. Now, why? Why are women so different when they're in their 40s and 50s in comparison to their 20s? Like, what happens that makes them so different? I got to hear this. Let me hear it. Aside from age, let me hear it.
Yeah. Okay. I think it is a life experience thing. And it seems like the older you get and the older your children get, the less you give a shit about some things. So like opinions of others. That's one of the things. So it's really empowering to reach that turning point. And when you care less about what other people think, because it really allows you to step into who you really are, and you're confident with that, and you just own it.
No, well said. Well said, because I'll tell you this, girls under 30, you got to step up your game here. And nobody cares about your broken nails. Nobody cares about your friend's father cramping your friend's style. No one cares about your emotional reactions to the fact that your boyfriend picked you up in a Mazda and not a Porsche. Nobody cares. Knock it off. And if you're in a serious relationship with a guy, let's say you're in a relationship with a guy for a year or two, don't stop sleeping with him. Don't even reduce the amount of times you sleep with them. I mean, if you were banging them twice a day at the beginning, you should still be doing it a year later. Guys, men, here's Mel, you may not know this, but men, we expect women, our women, to be the same as they were when we met them. We expect that. And 2-3 years down the road, when they're not, we're aggravated, annoyed, irritated all the time, because we actually, as men, and I'm guilty of this as well, we feel that we were lied to. We were sold a bill of goods that was a false sale. Fraudulent sexual behavior is the way that one of my friends worded that to me. And for me, it's not just the fraudulent sexual behavior part of it. It's a matter of, when you were cool at the beginning of the relationship, I was eager to run out and see you. And then now you're cranky and miserable and driving me crazy all the time and not sleeping with me. I don't give a shit if I see you or not. So how is it that we can convey this message to women successfully, that you should do your very best to be that person that he fell for, without offending them, of course?
Okay, that's a good point. And I would like to say that if the man stays the same and doesn't change his behavior, often I think the sex stays the same. But I've seen both partners change, and I've experienced that firsthand, and I've seen it in other couples. So I think it's important for both people to keep that in check. Wait a minute, am I bitchier now? And the man, men make an effort at the start, and the effort declines. And so it is kind of a benchmark for the sex to decline. I think they both go hand in hand, and it comes down to what women's emotional needs are and what men's physical needs are. And if we're always aware of meeting each other's needs, and I think there's a better chance of things not changing, maybe even getting better.
Yeah, I got you. And here, this is a very interesting point. I'm going to read this one out. This is Rick Non-Woke. in the Rumble room saying the courting months are the best. Then the friendship develops and makes sex weird. That's actually that's a very interesting statement. It is, but I don't want to friend zone somebody that I'm involved with. So, you know, Rick, I think that what you're trying to say there is that's how women perceive it. I think a lot of times I've had a lot of women admit this to me, that they just have zero sex drive and they want to be good friends with their husband or whomever, as opposed to their lover. And that's not what the husband's in it for. So where does that come from? This dropping of the libido, and women want to be friends with their man, but they also don't seem to understand he wants a lover, not a friend. And they feel that they're entitled to his relationship regardless. I got to hear this.
Okay. From a woman's perspective, it comes from, I think, two different areas. And one is a lack of having emotional needs met, like we've talked about before. It really does affect the physical. It puts walls up. So if you're feeling like your needs are met and you're fed emotionally, women open up physically. It just isn't like a normal thing. And I'm sure there's some science behind it. And the other thing is that, I mean, our food's garbage, we're environmental pollution, all of that. Women are hitting a perimenopause at an earlier age. And for some women, it really does impact their sex drive. And that's unfortunate. But there are things, women, if you're hearing this and that is an issue for you, there are supplements and things that can help with that. So yeah, look into that and try and keep that part of your relationship healthy.
Okay. Here's a question that got emailed. It's a very interesting one. Does Viagra make women horny? I would like to be horny again, but I don't know what to do. Will Viagra work? Oh, wow. Okay. So I actually don't know if there is. Look, I got to explain that way that it works. So Melanie, I think I might have mentioned this story once before, but a friend of mine used to sell dick pills. That's what he used to do. He was working for who manufactures Viagra? That's not Pfizer. It's the other one. But anyway, he was a sales rep for them. At the same time, I was also hired to try all the different male supplements. So I bugged my buddy to get me some Viagra. I got my hands on Cialis, Levitra. There's another one. I forget the name of it. And I gave them all a shot, but I had to spread them out a week apart so that the drug could leave my system and I could do a completely unbiased, unfettered version of the next time. Viagra, just so you know, ladies, doesn't just make a man's penis hard. It doesn't. You have to actually stimulate. But what happens with Viagra, it's a mind-altering drug. So with, the right amount of stimulation, and I'm not going to give examples as to what that would be, but with the right amount, it is. Use your hands on his dick. Okay, let's just say what it is. But with enough, his mind goes, it becomes a savage. And I remember just being freaking savage on this stuff. And all I was thinking about was sex and the woman in my bed with me. It's this. It's the bloodshot eyes. It's the spit flying out of your mouth. That's what Viagra does. No, it's a bizarre sensation. You feel like a friggin' caveman. That's what Viagra does. Now, Cialis, on the other hand, it's more like a dilator for blood vessels. So it opens up every blood vessel in your body. And I have a problem with my right hand. I've broken my right hand so many times that these three fingers, once in a while, they'll lock in place and they'll stay in this position where I can't open them no matter what I do. The drug of choice for that is Cialis, which is the penis pill. It opens up all the capillaries in your body, and that way blood can flow into your penis if you've got issues with your penis and you eat too much crap and you're not healthy. It keeps the blood in there longer because everything opens up. That's what Cialis does. Zero mind-altering capacity. Levitra was absolutely... Enzyte. Yeah, Levitra and Enzyte, useless. Why? Because you have to take them every day. So that's the issue with those. Now, what I've just described to you here is what happens to the male body with them. I have no clue if these two drugs that you're bringing up in this email will make you horny as a woman, because Viagra was meant for men. I guess if you did take Cialis as a woman, talk to your doctor first. Don't talk to me. I'm not a doctor. Then you would experience the same thing that I experienced, which is your blood vessels open up. Now, will that fill up your nether regions? Oh, I have no idea. Talk to your doctor, please.
Yeah.
Maybe
there is some natural.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, there are some natural supplements too. If you don't want to be on a pharmaceutical, I would personally would go that route. But
name them. Do you know what they are, or do you don't
yeah,
have
one
this
is
problem?
called. One is called. I don't, but I'm familiar with the product. It's called Maca, MACA. That's one that both men and women can take. That'll help with the feelings of arousal.
MACA, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just putting that up in the room there for everybody to see. There it is, bottom left corner, Maca.
You can buy it at most health food stores.
Okay. Anything else you've come across?
I can't remember the names of them, but I can get a list for next show.
Sure.
If it comes
well,
up.
It might be an idea. You know, it might actually be a really good idea to do that. Someone is suggesting here stimulation. Yeah, okay. So stimulation is one thing, but I've had conversations, ladies and gentlemen, with women who say that they are completely dead and they don't know why, and they don't want to be completely dead sexually. Now, in that case, obviously something is wrong. But I'm not a psychiatrist nor a psychologist. So it's kind of that is outside of the realm of dating advice, gals. So there's nothing I can advise there aside from talk to your doctor and have him recommend a specialist. Now, maybe you should be talking to doctors in other countries. Medicine is better in Costa Rica, Chile, Brazil, Thailand, places, France. Certainly, our healthcare system sucks. And I know what'll happen. So ladies, if you're going to go to your doctor, he's probably going to prescribe something, a pharmaceutical, and you'll have to insist that you see a specialist or a sex therapist, hopefully one that the Canadian Socialized Medicine pays for, because those people are not cheap. They really, truly are not. All right. I'm just going to quickly fly through the room here. A bottle of wine for women does it. Mel,
it helps.
Yes, no?
It helps. Yeah, it helps. That's true. Maybe
Okay.
sometimes two.
Okay. But I have to share with you my morality on this. I do not sleep with women who are drunk. Unless I have had consensual sex with them 12 times previous, in which case we're kind of in a relationship, especially if we decide that we are. Then getting her loaded, sure, no problem. But everything with me, I've got this, Mel, I've got this really odd moral code. I just cannot bring myself to sleep with a woman who's loaded if it's the first time that we're going to be sleeping together. Period. Like the idea of getting a woman drunk to get laid is sinister as far as I can see. But
yeah,
that's not saying that the two of you could agree in advance that we're going to have this bottle of wine together, get tipsy, and then have sex. Like you can, that's a contract. You could agree on that in advance. Mel, your thoughts?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a contract. I think it's wise to not to be tipsy the first few times for sure. But I think the question was coming from someone who's, probably been in a relationship and lost their libido and their desire. So if the wine helps at that point, then sure, whatever works, right?
Oh, okay. Louise is just clearing something up in the Rumble room here. I said with Viagra, there needs to be stimulation to make the penis pop. So I said for you, would that be cake on a woman's boobs? Is that an offer? Cake, sure. Listen, cake on any part of a woman's body, I'm there. I love women and I love cake. So I probably would work quite well. I definitely love cake. All right. Lisa's asking a good one here. Do antidepressant meds affect sex drive? Yeah. Oh, they absolutely do. And I can actually share a story with you on that one. That's when I had the head injury, when that police officer in Toronto, we'll call him loser Stephen Laramie, slammed my head down. illegally, I might add, into the asphalt. And I lost the ability to taste food for between 8 months and a year. My tinnitus just lit up in my left ear, and I was just groggy. So my doctor put me on an antidepressant called, what was it called? It was one of the weaker ones. It'll hit me in a second. Oh God, I'm sorry, I can't remember. I took it for 2.5 weeks to try to balance out the injury to my head. 0 sex drive. 0. I may as well have just put my penis in my pocket and left it there, or in the closet. So yes, it can. Prestique. Thank you. That was the one that I was on. Prestique. It did nothing, just for the record, it did nothing to improve the ulnar nerve having to regrow. It did nothing to improve the hearing loss that I had attained, and did nothing to improve my life. So I would just, if you can, avoid antidepressants at all costs. They're exercise, man. Your body releases endorphins when you exercise. I'm sure everybody watching, you watched me deadlift 425 pounds the other day. All right. I was high as a kite for 3 days on that one. All right. There you go. And I'm still, the adrenaline's pumping. So ladies, stay away from me. I'm dangerous right now. Okay, good. Just going to go back to the questions here. Okay. Here's a good one. It's a very, very good one. What are your thoughts on women asking you leading and stupid questions? Okay. I'm going to give you an example of questions that have come up before. All right. And I'm thinking, my advice would be, ladies, don't ask these questions. But which one of my friends do you think is the hottest? Melanie, why would a woman ask that?
Oh gosh, I would never ask that. Do women actually ask that? Wow.
Yes, they do. And I don't like it. Please continue.
Yeah, that's awkward. I really do think that we got to stop and think, because if we have a history of putting our feet in our mouth, it's probably affecting our dating life, and we should probably learn from that. So yeah, if you're asking silly questions, you gotta find some better questions.
You know what, Mel? There's no correct answer to that question. It's a loaded and leading question. If I say, "Oh no, baby, you're the hottest," oh come on, I won't get mad, and she's going to lead you down the pathway. But then you say, "Yeah, okay, Sue, Sue's got better jugs than you." Now what? All right,
yeah, now
is that the right answer?
Now you're in shit, because you're in shit because an insecure woman would say, "So you want to sleep with Sue?
You don't love me anymore? Yeah, you want to sleep with Sue? Why don't you just go be with Sue?"
Yeah, women, don't ask questions like that. That's just a bad idea.
Okay. I just got one emailed to me here. Obviously, this has been asked of the person who emailed it here. If your favorite celebrity confessed her love for you, would you dump me and date them? If this is a question that you've been asked, I would love to know what you said, what the reaction was.
Wow.
Okay, so Mel, I'm going to ask this to you. Why would a woman ask which women essentially would you cheat on me with? Wait, okay. You're a woman. Yeah. Try to make sense of this for me, please. I'm getting ahead.
I suppose women do ask questions like that. And I can't imagine why you would feel compelled to ask these questions. I think a better way to ask that question is, who's your celebrity crush? Because we all have one. Let's be honest. If we don't have one, then we're lying. So who's your celebrity crush? That way you're not saying, would you dump me and go sleep with them? You're just establishing what their type is, maybe. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, it's an odd thing to ask.
Hold
on. Paul sent one in. Paul, I really hope that she didn't ask you this, but it sounds like perhaps this. Yeah, okay. This is crazy. Would you have sex with my sister if I died? Why would a woman ask that to any man? Mel?
I'm shocked. If these are real questions, I am, wow. Okay. I didn't realize I am different than some women for sure. For sure. For sure. I'm 100% different than some women. Because again, that is a question that I would never, ever ask. That's bizarre. Obviously, she's feeling insecure if she's going to ask a question like that. So that either comes down to she needs to get that in check or get some more life experience, or he's not making her feel secure enough in their relationship. It's kind of a combination thing, I would presume.
Well, my advice, because this is an advice show, women, if you have the hankering or the urge to ask a stupid question like the 3 that we just asked here now, don't. It's not going to lead to anything good. You're going to put them on the spot. It's dumb. It's really stupid, especially because you know you're not going to accept an answer that he gives, and you're going to yell at him for something. It's almost like you're trying to start a fight. I would advise against that as well. Don't. Yeah. Here's a question again. Oops. What did I just do? Okay. 1 second. There we go. Got it back. All right. Why do women have such a difficult time paying compliments to their man? That's a very good question. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that. Melanie, I don't know. I've been in this boat many times where I was dating somebody or involved with somebody on a serious level who could not cater to my ego. They couldn't pay a compliment when one was either needed or one was not required is the wrong word, but where one belonged. There you go. So what is the difficulty women have with actually paying praise?
Okay, I think it comes from some social conditioning where women have this expectation that we should be getting all praise and all of the compliments, and that's not true. So ladies, if you think it, say it. The good stuff, not the bad stuff. Don't insult them. But if you're thinking, when he's fixing that deck and you see the sweat glistening off his biceps and you're like, that's kind of sexy, say it. You need to hear that too.
Well, I would say, yeah, say it. That's correct. But if you see the sweat glistening off his biceps and you're actually turned on, why don't you go and show him physically? Yeah. Go sit on his lap and kiss him for 2 or 3 minutes. Bring him a cold beer, kiss him for 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, compliments don't necessarily have to be verbal. I mean, the verbal ones are great. We do love them, but show your affection and don't be shy about it. Look, girls, ladies, women, if you don't cater to his ego, some other woman will. If you don't pay him compliments, some other woman will. And if you're not going to flirt with him and make him feel good about himself, some other woman will. What's that going to lead to? You being alone, because he's going to go out and get it elsewhere. Eventually. I'm not saying every man cheats arbitrarily. I'm just saying that when he gets to the breaking point where he's receiving nothing from you, yeah, he'll get it elsewhere. He absolutely will. All right, Melanie, we're coming down to our last little bit here. Were there any comments that you had to make that we didn't get to last week?
Well, you know what? I spent the last week asking I had a busy week and I was doing a lot of socializing out and about, and I had the opportunity to talk with a lot of women. First of all, I'm going to say it shocked me to find out how many single people there are out there right now. Astounding number of single people. I thought that used to be a minority, but it seems like right now there's a fairly large pool of single people. So get out there, mingle, guys and gals. But the one question I was asking a lot of people, and now this is from every age demographic. I'm talking young waitresses in their mid-20s all the way up to girlfriends of mine in their 50s. I was asking, what is the biggest challenge to dating right now? And the two things that they said, the top two were, we don't know where to meet people. Online dating apps are ridiculous, and I would agree. And the second thing was the young girls said that they can't even have a conversation with guys their age anymore, that the lack of maturity is pretty high. So these young girls are trying to find older guys, and one of them even dated a guy in his mid-30s and he still wasn't mature enough for her.
Wow. Yes, maturity in men is a problem, but we've got the feminist groups and the left wing to thank for that. So browbeating men the way that you have for the last 2 decades straight with this girl power and the Me Too movement and so on. What exactly did women think was going to happen? However, guys, and I'll scold you now. You really think that women care about your Batman collection? You really think that they give a crap that you have Voltron episode 6 on DVD? Like, who gives a shit about this stuff? Yeah. You really think they want to be with beta cuck males? And do you really think that they want to be with men who can't at least bench press half their own body weight? Women don't want to be around weak men. If they do, it's because they want to manipulate that weak guy. So you guys out there, you got to step up your game. Go to the gym, read the dictionary, build your vocabulary up, go out and talk to people, learn a new skill, and turn off the damn video games. If you have cable TV, men, get rid of it. What are you going to be giving Shaw and Rogers and all these other idiots $140 a month for? So you can sit in your ass and do what? Get fat? Not socialize? The longer you spend watching Netflix and cable television and Crave and all that stupid crap out there that you're blowing copious amounts of money on, you're not spending time dealing with people. They are distracting you. They're pulling you away from the market. And Mel, you are correct. There's a lot of single people. There are more single women in Alberta than there are anywhere else in North America, over 40 especially. Wow. And I know because I'm talking to quite a few of them because I'm trying to muster women up to come on this show. And I am asking them the questions. And it's similar to what you said. Men don't want to approach them. And men are childlike. Mm-hmm. This extension of childhood into 30s and sometimes 40s is scary at the same time.
I think since this is an advice show, I think that the advice here would be that, we need to put our phones down, get the hell out of our houses and start socializing again if we've lost those skills, because that's what society needs right now. We need to connect with people. We need to be able to have conversations and mix and mingle. That's the only way we can meet people. And you're not going to get any better at that unless you're doing it.
No, that's true. Yeah. And it's about practice, guys. And hey, look, guys, you're going to get shot down in flames sometimes. All right. You don't always get what you want. You're macking on some chick. So you go try to pick her up and she shoots you down in flames. Don't let your ego be bruised by it. Don't run away and hide in the corner and cry yourself to sleep with a chocolate bar. It's ridiculous. You try again. Then you try again. Then you try again. You guys know that I used to do stand-up comedy. The first 4 nights, I freaking bombed. It's the name of the game. And then eventually I figured out what I was doing wrong. Timing. My timing was off. The material wasn't as good as I thought it was. Yeah. You get better. I wrote better stuff, better facial expressions, better smiles, better winks, better twists, better everything. Better material, better stage show, better stage performance, better presence. You get better. Every time you fail, you get better. If you're at home watching Pornhub, I guarantee you're not getting better. Also, can I just be blunt, guys? How many of you think that you're going to get a job as a pizza delivery guy and show up in some backyard beach house and 5 chicks are going to pull your pants off and do stuff to you? You really think that's real? You set yourself up for failure in your thought processes by watching that crap. So let that go. And like Mel said, go bingle. Okay, but Melanie, we got to talk about Tinder. Let's go to Tinder for a second here, because that's the one most people talk about, as it was originally designed for people that wanted to hook up and have sex and not have relationships. Now it's kind of a relationship website. Tinder. Women. Tell women what to do on Tinder, because I think you're probably going to say the same thing I am.
I've never been on Tinder, but I would say a couple of things. If you're going to go on any site, I guess specifically Tinder, I have girlfriends that have been on it. I would say define what you're looking for. Know what you're looking for so that you can be specific and communicate that. And the second thing is be authentic. If you're not going to be authentic, you're not going to find something that's real. So if you're looking for a real connection, if you're just looking to hook up, then I guess go for it.
Yeah, but be honest about it.
Mhm.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
ladies, if you just want to hook up, if you just want to get laid, be honest about it. There's no shame in being honest about what you want, because unless you talk about what you want, unless you communicate it, you're not going to get it. But here's what I did. I know since the last show, a few of my buddies actually got on Tinder, and we're going through their accounts, and they're going with the mouse, and they've hit like 200 images, and then it says, like Tinder, it runs out of women in their postal code. Right? So you got to change your range from, let's say, 20 kilometers from where you are to 200. And so they're getting replies from women that are 200, 300, 500 kilometers away. But then the conversations, ladies, you're giving no information out. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 word replies. But guys, don't say, hey, how are you? You got to say something funny. You got to be funny. So if you need to call me, hire me for 35, 40, 50 bucks, we'll say, I'll write something funny for you. Okay. Now it's inauthentic for me to do that for you, but at least you'll know where my mindset goes. What is with these 1 and 2 and 3 word answers that women give? Go ahead, Mel. I got to hear this.
Okay, well, because I have some chronic dating site friends or acquaintances, I'm thinking that it's a dopamine thing. I feel like some women are they just love getting the likes, and they just love making that initial contact, but they're keeping everyone at a safe distance because it's not really anything deep, and they're not making a sincere connection. I feel like they're addicted to that whole early process of likes and first engagements. So that's what I feel. I feel like, honestly, we had one friend that used to come out with us, and she'd be on her phone the whole time checking her dating apps. It's like she couldn't get enough of it.
I guess that's why so many women are on TikTok, making videos where some of them are crying and some sad music is playing, and above them it says, I'm 41 and single and I have no friends. Will you be my friend? And all the beta cuck losers, the 6,000 comments. Oh, you're so pretty. I like you. Yeah. And then I come along. I have to do this. I'll type, stand up, stop crying, dust yourself off, and get back in the market. But so you could be correct. There's I think, a real truth to what you said, because they are getting off on all the free attention that they're getting. And that's why I said in the last show, don't give your attention away and your compliments away for free. Give them to a woman who's earned them. And the other stupid videos they do is they dance around. They're going like, do, 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 do. And text will pop up above them saying things like, men always ghost me when they find out, and they point to a number. I'm 46. No, you're so beautiful. They get all these compliments. Oh, I want to date you. I want to marry you. Come live with me. It's just, you beta males are so stupid, because she's not going to talk to any of you at all. So I'll type something along the lines of, you dance like hell and your ankles are too thick, right? Because I'm not paying compliments to a woman who hasn't earned it, or a woman who's not someone that's a friend of mine, or a family member, or someone I just care about because we have a good connection. Yeah, sure. Compliments are coming. I mean, let's show the guys right here what I'm talking about. Okay, hold on 1 second. Where did I put it? 1 second. Now, who is that amazingly hot babe on the slide? That woman is something else. Look at her. Simple. But Melanie's a friend of mine, and obviously Melanie has earned my friendship, and she's earned my admiration with her talent, but not just her talent, also the way she treats people. I just admire Melanie because she treats people well. Melanie gets all the compliments in the world. But some chick on TikTok dancing around like a moron, you're not getting any of that. So, getting back to what I was saying earlier, how do we communicate with women out there to say, if you really do want to find someone and you're using dating apps, you can't just give 1 and 2 word responses. You've got to say something creative. Why do women not speak creatively? Do you have any idea?
Wow. Well, I mean, clearly a part of that is because we've been conditioned and dumbed down. So, girls, you got to work on being interesting. You really do. You got to learn how to, like, really, if you're on an app or you're on TikTok, you're selling yourself, and you got to make sure that what you're selling is going to be appealing. So, be interesting, be creative. Maybe that means take up a new hobby. Maybe that means go take some dance lessons and do something that's going to nurture you and make you feel empowered. Maybe start exercising and trying different things, because I think the more we do in life and the more skills we acquire and the more experiences we get under our belts, the more confident we become and the more interesting we become. So make yourself interesting. It's not that hard.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Make yourself, I like that. Make yourself, but I would also say maybe answer questions with something more than 2 or 3 words. Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what?
Well, I
How
would
about
say,
this? Go ahead.
well, I would say the right questions, because I mean, there's probably a lot of trolling on the other side as well. So you kind of need to sift through. I mean, look at the profile. Someone, if say if it's a dating app, for instance, look at the profile, and if there seems like there's enough there that aligns, then yeah, pursue that and answer some questions and ask some questions and create a dialogue and see if there's more worth exploring there. If it's on TikTok, yeah, same thing. Kind of just look at their content. If it seems like there's ways that you align and there's some potential for some other deeper connection there, then yeah, have a conversation, a real one.
Yeah. Maybe stay away from the basic questions, guys. What do you do for a living? Ooh, what do you do for fun? Ooh. Come on, guys. No. It's not that. Yeah. Tell me about the time that you got drunk the most and caused the most property damage. There you go. It's not a question. It's more of a demand for information. All right. That's interesting. You guys got to be, see, Melanie's laughing. And this is not scripted. I'm just making this stuff up as I'm talking here. Be funny. Hey, have you ever wrestled an elephant? And if so, who won? All right. Why not entice them to engage with you? And if they're going to ignore that, then you know that they're not interested in someone with a sense of humor. So, move on.
Next.
Be interesting, like Melanie said. I got to address a couple things in the Rumble chat, Mel.
Okay.
Louise M47 says, telling men how grateful you are for what they did, or thanking them for the way that they look at you and how they make you feel. Okay, she didn't finish that thought, but I think she's saying women should tell men how grateful they are. Do you agree or disagree?
I think depending on the man, some that might resonate with some men and that might not. We really got to just pay attention and get to know each other. Some men might just want to be grabbed and kissed and said, you know what? Thanks for doing the yard work.
Yeah,
That turned me on. Right? Yeah.
Well,
okay. Your primary
actually,
love language, I believe, is physical touch. That's what
okay. But lawn looks good, and then jump my bones like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Hey, I don't need a full description of, oh, the petunias look great. Thank you for digging that 6-inch hole in the corner. Like, I don't need that stuff. Lawn looks good. Let's get busy.
But right. Some men might. Some men might need that.
Well, I think every man needs that. I think that that's what's missing altogether in relationships right now, is that I do know a lot of guys who go out of their way to fix the house and fix, like, replacing a water boiler. I did that once, replacing the water, the hot water tank in a house. That sucked. That, you know what? The two of us were just pissed off the whole time we were doing it. We couldn't even enlighten the day with jokes or chick talk or whatever else. We couldn't do it. It was a horrible job. And he got not even a thank you from his wife on that one. Like, I don't know, ladies, do you have any idea how much work that is? And fortunately, I mean, I'm a strong guy. He was able to strap this thing around me with rope. So we had to stuff towels on my chest and tie this thing around me with rope. and I had to have it on my back, and he had to lift it up with his arms like this, and we had to coordinate our steps, 1, 2, to get up the stairs. Oh, what a nightmare. Not even a thank you. Yeah, she should have jumped his bones. That's right there, right in front of me. To which I would have said, it's time for me to go, and walked out the door. Right? I'm not watching this.
But
she
some
also
men, men would need the compliment, would appreciate the compliment. So I think her point is still valid too. So, but
and Lilo's cute too. Check her out. She agrees. There we go. But I'm going to go back to the comment here, because Louise said something else too. Here we go. I was recently called cute for the first time in years, and I just melted and could only think, wow, gosh, thank you, and take me now. And said something true back also. Wow, Louise, where were you when I was 18? Phenomenal. So, yeah, guys, if you are going to pay a compliment, I certainly would not be wasting your time doing it on TikTok, where 6,000 of the guys have done so. But you certainly can pay a compliment in public. I did it yesterday in the gym. There's a gal, she's overweight and she's working out, but I said encouraging things to her. She was pushing, the sled that you push on AstroTurf. I just said to her, it's my favorite exercise. You're going to love the burn in your calves. When her workout was done, and I'm leaving the gym myself, I just looked at her and said, good job. Come back tomorrow. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, paying a compliment in that kind of an instance, because you're in public, it's face to face, and you're interacting like human beings. Don't compliment women on TikTok. Stop it. Alrighty. Lilo says there's a lot of singles at church.
Correct. I've heard this.
Good. Okay, then look, I got a friend of mine, ladies. He's saving himself for marriage. Good-looking guy, smart. Any women out there who are virgins, who are also Christian, who would like to be set up with this guy, let me know, because I think he's losing his mind. I think he wants to sleep with somebody, but he won't do it till he's married to you, and he'll treat you well. So any gals out there like that, between the ages of 20, I think he said 23 and 30, let me know, because he's eager to buy a house, and he's got the money to do it. He wants to buy a house and have a family, and he wants to do it now. There you go. I'm a good friend. Right? Perfect. So thanks for reminding me about the church there, Lilo. I certainly do appreciate that. Let me just check the rooms one last time here, Mel.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. And it turns out that I know some of the people in the room here. This is good. I'm checking the emails for last question here. All right. Kevin, how often does this show come up? This show is every Thursday. Melanie and I agreed to do 8 weeks. This is week number 2. If you like the show, we will continue doing it. If you don't like the show, we'll scrap it and we'll try something different. But I've got a feeling that you all are liking this tonight. We certainly appreciate you being here. Melanie, our time is up. Do you have any concluding statements for tonight?
Well, I would just like to encourage all of us, men and women, let's work on our social skills. Let's hone in on that craft and make ourselves more interesting over the next week. Maybe we'll get some feedback from you next week and see if you have any new experiences pertaining to this particular homework assignment.
Oh, you know what? That's a good homework assignment. How about this? How about everybody watching now who's single or horny or both, get on Tinder and talk to people, but take screenshots of the conversation if the conversation is really boring, and send me the screenshot. Now, I'm going to block out the person's face. I'm not going to humiliate anybody, and I'm going to block out their name. I'm more interested in the boring conversation that we have talked about today, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. There's your homework assignment. I want to see some of that. All right, Melanie, how do people find you online?
Oh, I'm on Instagram at Mel Switz, and I am on TikTok as well under Melanie Switzer. So,
okay, so Mel Switz. I'm just putting it up in the bottom left for people. Do I have it right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's on which one?
That's on Instagram.
That's on Instagram. And the other one is Melanie Switzer. And that is on which one?
TikTok.
So that's TikTok. That's TikTok. Take a screenshot, everybody. That's Instagram. And of course, you know, Mel, I forgot to do a graphic for you. I'll show mine quickly here. Follow me on Instagram as well, folks. There you go. At Kevin J Johnston. I've got 27,000 followers now. I want to thank you all for following me there. All right. Melanie, as always, it's a pleasure to see you. Thank you for being here.
Yes.
And we will see you in a week. And you're going to empty out your email box, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to be on time next week.
Yeah. You're going to empty that box out. I expect to see a full report on the emptying as soon as possible. Thanks for being here, Melanie. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Take care. Melanie Switzer, everybody. Yeah. She's our country singing star out here in Alberta. Clever gal. Very, very pleasant. Whenever you get to sit down with Melanie, you know what? Have a conversation with her. You're really going to enjoy it. I did. We became friends in a matter of a couple of minutes. Didn't take long. This show is going to be every Thursday, like I mentioned, for the next, 6 weeks after now. We said we'd give it a try. If you like it, let us know in the feedback. Send us emails, send us compliments, send me insults. That is fine. If you have criticism, constructive or otherwise, we certainly would like to hear it. And if you want to be on the show, asking questions or making commentary, let me know, and we will certainly get you the link to come on the show. We will see you next week. And don't forget, the Kevin J Johnston Show is on Tuesday nights at the same time on the exact same platform that you're watching right now. That's 7 p.m. Calgary time and 9 p.m. Toronto time. That's it for now, everybody. Have a great night.